Okay, so it looks all but done. James Tarkowski looks set to join Everton on a free transfer, apparently about 120 grand a week. Is this a particularly sexy signing? Is this a very predictable signing? Of course it is. Is it particularly interesting? No. But I think this is the right sort of signing. Look, Everton are moving into Bramley Dock in 2024. Sorry, Bramley Moor Dock. Everton need to change who they are. Everton, I think a lot of people are assuming Everton are going to push for top half next season. I don't think they will. I think it's probably another relegation battle season for Everton. I don't think they will go down, but this will be probably a 12th to 16th place season next season for Everton. And look, is James Tarkowski the most incredible centre-back to ever exist? No. But he's good at what he's good at. And the things that he is good at are things that Everton are some of the worst in the league at. Of course, it's a system thing with Burnley. Like when I've seen some people on Twitter saying how bad his on the ball numbers are, and they are really bad. To be in bottom 2 percentiles in Europe for like passes and pass completion is obviously terrible. But I remember watching James Tarkowski at Brentford in the Championship when they played a back three, and I think it was Dean Smith at the time. Because obviously Wolves were in the Championship back then. And he was always a pretty good ball progressor. He was always someone that it was quite a surprise when he went to Burnley under Sean Dyche. It kind of felt like a weird stylistic fit. But, Everton aren't a big physical side. The bottom of the league for aerials, 1 per 90. That's something that's a concern. It's not surprised that Everton's set piece record was so bad last season. And the amount of crosses they conceded. It's because they just don't win aerial duels. And whether you like James Tarkowski or not, he's a pretty basic centre-back. He wins the ball. Winning nearly 5 aerial duels per 90 is impressive. Shane Duffy's the best in Europe on 5.08. So James Tarkowski's not that far off that. And I don't think he's as bad on the ball as people say. He's got good defence numbers. He clears the ball away. He boots the ball away. Look, is this a sexy signing? No. But he does a job. He suits a purpose. and he's used to playing in a back four as well. He's Premier League proven. And I think Everton will want to switch to that. There's a lot of question marks over Everton's defenders. When you look at the defenders that played a lot of minutes last season, obviously Michael Keane, who's also, you could make the argument that James Tarkowski is very similar to Michael Keane, and he's coming out of a very similar system. I think people thought that Michael Keane would adapt to playing at a higher line at Everton and didn't. But I don't think Everton are expecting to be that anymore. Everton probably aren't. I don't think Everton are going to play some incredible high pressing back four and dominate the ball next season. So I think that's less of a concern. But obviously Luke Gardinia's left. I assume John Joe Kenny will leave. I'd be stunned if they kept him. Seamus Coleman probably needs to become the number 2. I'd assume Mason Holgate will probably leave. I like Ben Godfrey. I think Mikalenko is good to build around. And Michael Keane will probably stay. But with the amount of work that needs to get done on that in the middle of the park in defence, I think there's enough there for James Tarkowski to solve problems in the short term. Look, Everton, it's all about surviving and getting to Bramley Moor Dock over the next 2 years. That's all Everton need to do. That was the whole point in bringing in Rafa Benitez, and obviously it failed. But I think if Everton can keep Yerry Mina fit and have Ben Godfrey and James Tarkowski, that's enough to keep Everton in the league in the next few years, at least from a defensive point of view. And look, Everton aren't a ball dominant side, at least last season anyway, under Rafa and Lampard. They're down there with Burnley. So I don't think it'll be this massive transition that people are acting like, or obviously Everton are a massive club compared to Burnley, but in terms of stylistically, the way they play, it's not actually going to be that much of a transition. He's a good head. He's a good pro. He'll help them change to a back four and be more regular with that. He's more physical than most of their centre-backs, bar Yerry Mina. His injury record as well is really good. He's barely been injured over the last few years. And, Everton, I know people give Everton a lot of stick for how bad they were last season, but you can't ignore their injury record. I think the media liked going in on Everton. And I can understand why, because they're a big club, but I think people ignored that. When Liverpool had loads of injuries last season, everyone was mentioning that. No one really did that with Everton. And I think he'll help them survive and get them to Bramley Moor Dock. Obviously, the wages are a bit of a concern. If they do go down next season and you're stuck with another guy on 120 grand a week who's old and has no resale value, it's a concern. He's 29, so this isn't really building for the future. And you could maybe say that maybe the Burnley system stuck in him, but generally overall, this is a good signing. He's proven, it's a free transfer, makes the wages less of an issue, and it will help Everton survive. And for me, this is just Everton accepting what they are. They'll probably be a bottom half club for the next few years. But you know what? That's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Give Frank Lampard some backing. Let him create a pretty solid defensive base. Everton fans aren't demanding, as much as people say they are. And yeah, this isn't a sexy signing, but I think this is a good signing, and this will carry Everton through for the next few years and keep them stable, which I think that's all Everton fans want, really. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, peace.